Whether they gave up on the team gave up on them. These are 10 superstars who forcefully got the hell out of there.
Divorces can get pretty ugly, and the NBA is no exception. Here are 10 superstars who forced their teams to trade them. Wilt Chamberlain. Wilt Chamberlain was the first
OG.
NBA superstar to demand and
OG.
orchestrate his own trade, and he did it in the era when players couldn't dictate their future, 20 years before unrestricted free agency even existed. You were with a certain
I'd be
team,
going
and
crazy
you were their
in 2K
property,
on that
and they had the
now.
option
Oh my
of keeping
God.
you or getting rid of you. Elgin
Every
Baylor,
rookie
Wilt's
contract
Lakers
I'm signing,
teammate. At that time, contracts included a reserve clause, a standard provision that gave owners the right to retain their players after contracts expired, giving the players no say in whether they wanted to stay or leave. However, when the ABA League formed in 1967, NBA
no,
players
nothing about the
finally had
ABA
leverage. They could threaten to switch leagues if something wasn't to their liking.
Damn, fuck going on to another team. I'm leaving the league. Now that's crazy.
He got traded to the AB. You could do it. Hey, I already admitted I didn't. You could. He got traded out the league. That's crazy. They sent boy to Nam. This is insane.
I'm just saying that some of the things in today's game that like we just take for granted is kind of crazy. And I know this is an L example, bro. Sage, have you tried to do that 2K Jordan challenge in 23, bro? Yo, I ain't gonna lie. That first one where you had to play Georgetown and there was no 3-point line and you had to work with no spacing, bro. I'm like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. How the fuck did y'all play like this? This is insane.
Man, I say they L gamers for it, but to a degree, I understand why they say it. My friends, man, when we be doing the little eras jump and we start from the Magic and Bird era, they be like, bruh, I can't have no spacing, bro. All you need is a good center and it's up. I was like, I know, bro. Shooters shoot regardless in 2K, but it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. MJ get drafted with like a 90 midi and a 73. Motherfuckers is crying. Motherfuckers like, oh, Lord.
I'm just saying, you will quickly realize why the game was a big man's game till, like, Jordan came in the league, bro. For real, for real.
He was also the biggest star in the league, and he had personal leverage of his own. After he finally won the championship in Philly, after 8 years of Celtics' reign, Wilt somehow convinced the
Yeah,
76ers owner to give him a 1-year contract with no reserve clause, which he then used to become the first ever NBA free agent in 1968. Chamberlain then started calling other teams to
Fun
tell them
fact.
he was available, only because he wanted to
dude
start
was
a bid
Aiden Ross,
to
bro.
increase his
Okay.
salary, acting as his own agent. The Lakers ultimately
All
traded for
these
Wilt,
facts
giving
about Wilt.
away
We
a
ain't got
few
footage of that
role
100
players as
points.
token payment and sweetener for Wilt's deal, even though it was ultimately Wilt's choice where he would go and not the 76ers. Vince Carter. There's plenty to like about Vince Carter's career with the Toronto Raptors. Air Canada, as he was called, is single-handedly responsible for many Canadian players letting go of a hockey stick and buying their first basketball. After he won Rookie of the Year in 1999, he transformed the Raptors into a winning team and gave them the first taste of playoff success. He was arguably the fastest first step in the NBA.
I guess, yo, they went from like 35 to 42, bro. I guess.
Oh my God! Not too much on VC. What's up with you? You don't like high flyers, man. I'm noticing this. You don't like high flyers, man. What's going on?
Who is another? KD ain't a high flyer. What the fuck?
Oh my God!
Is Giannis a high flyer?
Wait, yes. Wait, yeah. Giannis jumped over Tim Hardaway. He
Yeah.
cleared him. He cleared that man. Yeah. Giannis
My bad,
is.
OG, my
I'd
bad.
say VC is. Come on, man. What's up with you?
Derrick Rose? I like Oladipo. I mean, ha! Yeah.
Oh my God.
Smooth mid-range jumper, and his violent dunks were must-see TV, the purest
Facts.
exhibition of athletic poetry in motion. He was nicknamed half man, half amazing, but there was still a lot to dislike about his career with the Raptors. The first one was his trip to the graduation ceremony in North Carolina, which was due on the same date as the Raptors' Game 7 against Allen Iverson and the Sixers.
Did he
in
go to the-
2001 East
Did he go to his
Semis.
graduation?
Carter looked exhausted and missed
Oh,
the
oh.
game winner that would send the Raptors
I'm about to
the
say,
next
I
round.
never heard
Many
this
fans
story.
believed it was because he was too tired from that round trip to North Carolina. Another reason is that Carter never worked hard in the first part of his career, relying only on his
Damn.
talent and caring mostly about himself and his numbers. And the third,
Yeah, he
most
was one of those
important
next
reason,
MJ
is the
guys.
gruesome
Okay.
way he left Toronto. After the Raptors missed the playoffs in 03 and
Here's
04,
another guy.
Carter demanded a trade before the
I'm about
start of
to
the
say,
next year. The
the one
Raptors
that they
didn't
said
want to
was
lose
better
their
than both.
franchise player, so Vince decided he would sabotage the team. Carter played zero defense. He dragged himself across the court and basically basically half-man, half-assed the last 20 games he played
wow.
for the Raptors
Damn,
until he was
demonetized.
finally traded to the Nets. When the trade came through,
Bars
Vince
for-
immediately started
Hey!
dominating for the Nets, averaging 27 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists compared to 16 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists with the Raptors.
Nah,
Vince
that's
took a big
crazy.
proverbial dump on the entire organization and fan base. And from that moment on, he was booed every time he came back to Toronto. Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis was one of the most dominant college players of this century, and New Orleans had little to think
Let's
about when they
talk
got the
about
first
it,
pick of the 2012 NBA draft. But during his 7 years in the Big Easy, the Pelicans and their GM Dell Demps had always managed to
Good
keep
man,
things up,
Dell.
putting together
Good man,
mediocre
Dell.
teams around
Thank you,
AD,
bro.
and showing
Hey.
little ability
Nah,
to
young
evaluate
AD was
talent.
different, bro. I
Despite
ain't gonna
Davis
lie.
being a perennial all-star, the team had a
Yeah.
negative rating in 5 of Unibrow's 7 years, with only 1 playoff series win. It wasn't too hard to convince AD to
But
leave.
it was one
and
hell
once
of a
LeBron
win.
and their
I ain't
mutual
gonna lie.
agent Rich Paul
Yes, it
began flirting
was.
with him to come to La La Land, Davis demanded to be traded. What was unique about this was Rich Paul publicly saying that AD wants to join the Lakers and Lakers only, and if any other teams trade for him, that AD would leave after his contract expired. Davis
Brilliant.
got fined $50,000 for publicly demanding a trade, and the Pelicans didn't let him play in games at first. And then the NBA forced them to play him because he was healthy. It was a soap opera that only NBA free agency could provide. To add insult to injury, Davis showed up for the final Pelicans home game wearing a t-shirt that read, "That's all, folks," a reference to Porky Pig's famous line. 2 months later, his wish came true, and he joined LeBron in Los Angeles, giving
And
an
what'd
end
he
to
do?
this arduous saga.
And what'd he
Kawhi
do?
Leonard. When the Spurs have a
Oh.
superstar player,
Oh,
they usually spend their
God.
entire career with the franchise. George Gervin played
This
only his
guy.
first 2, and the last year of his
Oh,
career outside
brother,
of San Antonio.
this
David
guy
Rodgers, Tim Duncan,
stinks.
and Manu Ginobili played their entire career for the Spurs, and Tony Parker left only in his
Being
last
said, I was
NBA
on
season.
Kawhi's
San
side
Antonio and
during
Coach
the
Pop
moment,
have always been known for Spurs culture, which was predicated on consistency, hard work, great values, and winning over personal stats. Kawhi Leonard embodied all those values, and after he won the Finals MVP in
Did he?
2014, he became the franchise player, and everybody believed he would follow the beaten path and remain in San Antonio forever. But after the
Yeah,
Spurs
I ain't
medical
like how
staff
San Antonio
misjudged
ended,
his
I ain't
knee
gonna lie.
injury and forced him to come back too soon. While he was still feeling discomfort, the relationship turned sour. Kawhi stopped all communication with the franchise and demanded to be traded. The Spurs
That was such a weird year, bro. The 2018 season with Kawhi, like literally everyone was just guessing, like, yo, what the fuck is going on with Kawhi? Is the injury that bad? Is it a sour relationship? To this day, I'm still not 100% sure what the fuck happened, to be honest with you.
Yeah, nobody is, and there's a certain world where Kawhi's a lying bastard. Maybe that's the world we live in today, but all I know is I ain't gonna lie. If it was me and I was Kawhi, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I don't care about them team doctors. If my doctor say, yo, your shit cooked, my shit cooked, let alone if I wake up in the morning and something feel wrong, fuck you. So I was actually on his side before we had our Clippers beef. I was actually on Kawhi's side on this trade. I ain't gonna lie. So, but it's still to this day, as you said, a mystery to what truly happened. For all we know, that nigga was healthy and ain't like it.
had no other option than to oblige, and they sent him to Toronto, where Kawhi became a fun guy and a 2-time champion. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem came to the NBA in 1969, and in his second season, he already won an MVP award, an NBA championship, and was considered the best player in the league. After a close finals loss in
I guess.
1974, the Bucks
Oh
didn't even
my,
make the playoffs in
who?
1975, and Kareem
Who's number 2, Sage? Who's number 2? Who's number 2?
You tell me who's number 2. If it's Kareem, who's number 1?
Bob McAdoo. Bob Lanier.
Not serious. No Bob is better than Kareem.
No. I'm saying these are 2 and 3. I'm not saying they're better than Kareem. I'm just saying
Okay, so why can't he be number 1?
he
bruh?
can be
Like,
number 1, but you know there's levels to these bezels, man. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not saying I disagree with that. I'm saying you said I ain't yes. He was, bro. Facts is facts. Yo, what's up with you, bro? What's up with you, bro? Nah, I hate when he do this, bro. He fake praises motherfuckers, and y'all think he hyping them up all the time. He is slandering them.
Nah, that's Big Reem. Come on, bro, stop.
He's slandering.
Stop. It's Big Reem, man.
I thought we was on his side after the little story video with Wilt. I thought we was Team Ream. What happened?
What happened? I'm still on his side. Come on. Yo, best player in the 70s. Best player in the 70s.
Right.
Type shit.
Wasn't happy. It was partly because the team around him wasn't that good, and partly because he never felt comfortable in Milwaukee. Introverted Jabbar never really connected with the people, the audience, and the city itself. Before the end of the 75 season, he told the owners that he wanted to leave, and that his request was non-negotiable. He also told them he wanted to be traded to a big market that would satisfy his cultural needs, meaning either to the Knicks because New York was his hometown, or the Lakers because he enjoyed LA a lot during his college career at UCLA.
Yeah, you said Milwaukee was too white,
once
man.
Kareem decided something, he couldn't be persuaded to change his mind. And after 6 years and 3 MVPs in Milwaukee, Kareem became a Laker. James Harden. The OKC ownership decided not to offer James Harden
he force
this trade
to save a few $1 million in luxury tax.
This one, I don't know. I think you're reporting the wrong one.
Yeah, I think he forced his way out of Houston. Maybe he'll get into it. I don't know about OKC, though.
Yeah, you go. The forced way out of Brooklyn. I think this is the one where he ain't forced anything.
Harden felt disrespected and demanded to be traded, so the Thunder shipped him to Houston. Of course, it was one of the worst trades in NBA history, as Harden became one of the best offensive players in history during his time with the Rockets. Houston made the playoffs every year when Harden was there, but they couldn't get over the hump and get out of the Western Conference, mainly because of the Warriors, who defeated them 3 times in the playoffs. History repeated itself, and the Rockets made multiple questionable trades to shed salary to avoid paying the luxury tax. And after they sacked head coach Mike D'Antoni, post yet another playoff disappointment. And after GM Daryl Morey left, it was time for Harden to go too. Just like Andy Dufresne in Shawshank Redemption, James decided he'd been there long enough. He demanded a trade, and after it didn't materialize initially, the Beard came into the season out of shape, sending a strong message to the new GM. After 8 painful games at the beginning of the 2021 season, he was finally traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie Irving.
Let me ask you this, though. How do you feel about like this Uber movement of player movement in the NBA now? Because obviously it has existed in, the 20th century, back in the olden days. You know what I'm saying? With Kareem and Wilt and all that shit. But like now, a role player staying on a team for 9 years, that's rare. That's considered like for lifer for real. Shout out to Big Smart. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna forget you.
You know what I'm saying? The heart and soul. Just
I'm
talk
talking about the heart and
soul
souls,
for
man.
all your years, man. Nah, I see what you cooking, because the fact Smart was like one of the more longer tenured players, and I don't even think he eclipsed a decade, is kind of insane.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it's not cool, but it should be allowed. And I don't want to sound like a massa real men type of guy when I say this, but I ain't gonna lie, some of these niggas don't know what they doing. And it's fucking up a lot of shit in the league, but at the same time, I'm not gonna be the one to tell them not to do it, because in certain situations where, hey, this team don't know how to build around you, fuck them. Mm-hmm. But I think what will happen is, and like we talked about all the time, these players have egos that you need to have to make the league. So as a result, if they don't win, they're not gonna look in the mirror a lot of the time, or they're not gonna outwardly blame other players a lot of the time for the sake of their ego. So they're just gonna blame the front office and pack up. And I think it's definitely gotten corny at this point. Any person that argues it doesn't, you're just trying to get good boy points. There's no bitches down there. So what are you doing? But other than that, yeah, it's corny shit. Yeah,
no, I just kind of, because I understand why it's definitely taken a leap. The idea of controlling your own destiny, I feel like, that's a net positive. But I do, like, in a way, miss those playoff teams, those playoff cores that stuck together for a better part of a decade. And that used to be common in the 2000s, in the 90s, even in the early 2010s. Like, these cores would stay together for 6 to 7 years until they truly got old. The closest example we got in the NBA right now is the Warriors. And that's it. And that's why, yeah.
That's only because they dominated for so fucking long. It was kind of like, you're gonna end it? Outside of that, nah, but go on, bro. I'm just, that shit, even that shit's an outlier.
Yeah, it's just annoying to a certain degree, like seeing these really good teams only last for 2 to 3 years and then just quit on that core, which is, why I see why people want the Celtics to re-sign Jaylen Brown. I see it. So, I see the pros and I see the cons as well. Sometimes, some of these players, they peaked. you know what I'm saying? You got to move on as a franchise.
That's a shot at a lot of franchises. Some even that had a big day at draft night. Crazy.
Type shit. Come on, bro.
Things of that nature.
2019, Kyrie Irving said that the young guys on the Celtics don't realize
I
what
love
it
that
takes
quote
to be a
so much,
championship
but it's not
team,
even a
and
top
that
3
he
quote
called
from him.
LeBron James and apologized for how he acted as a young player in Cleveland. Kyrie
Me
and
neither. I
LeBron
should've
were
shot
a great
30.
1-2 punch that led the Cavaliers to 3 straight NBA Finals, delivering a legendary championship in 2016. But after 2017, Kyrie wanted to be the main guy and not the sidekick. He wanted to be Batman, not Robin, or Maverick, and not Goose. So he asked to be traded without even consulting LeBron, even though there were still 2 years remaining
Yeah,
on
that's
his
his
deal,
father.
and the
The fuck?
Cavs didn't have to trade
I
him.
was gonna say,
He
yeah,
sent him to
you
Boston.
didn't even talk to
In
LeBron.
retrospect,
Your
that was
fucking
probably a
father.
mistake.
Hey, yo, Bron. Yo, what you think about me, leaving? Type shit.
Yeah, Scorcher for me, because I'm a Lakers fan. It'd be a cold take if Solo said it. Yeah, Kyrie leaving, I almost retweet. I ain't gonna lie. The premise alone of disrespect, I would have been left. I ain't gonna lie. Can't do it. I know Kyrie could have had 2, 3, 4 rings there, because all it would take is 1 year for Golden State to either A, get hurt, or B, for Cleveland to somehow put up a better roster. Plus, you had LeBron, I ain't think it'd happen. But nope, not gonna lie. I would have ruined it too. Y'all not gonna treat me like I'm dead ass little bro to him. It was cool when I was 20, and I dead ass weren't even able to drink. It was cool when I was 21. Still learning from the nigga. It was cool when we won the first time. It was our first win. I'm like 25, 26. I'm in my prime. I'm established as one of the best clutch players, one of the best players in general in the league, and I'm still little bro. Like we not even on some like Russell KD shit where you could be better than me, but sometimes people know it's my night. No, I'm just always little bro to this motherfucker. Yeah. Whether it's from him or y'all, and I don't even think it was from Braun for real. I think it was just from the world. And I ain't gonna lie, the world is annoying. I would have quit. I ain't gonna lie. I would have did the same shit Reed did. I never slandered the move. I never slandered the reason behind it. The only thing I was on him about was, I ain't gonna lie, throwing down dissing the young guys when you yourself ain't that old was kind of crazy, but it was hilarious. But everything else, nah, fuck that, bro. I would have packed up too.
Hey, Scorcher take for me, in my opinion, the most overhated player in the league, and it's sad. It's because the things people are saying about him right now is they've been saying it for like the last, I don't even know, 4 to 5 years. Some of the shit he's been doing the last 2 years actually backs up this, perception that Kyrie has already achieved and has already gained. But prior to that, man, I ain't gonna lie, not too much on Kyrie, bro. But I'll just leave it at that, since motherfuckers still hate this dude.
Especially because they didn't get much in return. Before we go into the final 3 names on the list, we have to give honorable mentions for a few other players.
Oh my
In the early
God.
70s, Earl the Pearl Monroe forced his way out of Baltimore and into New York, where the Black Jesus helped the
forgot
Knicks
that's
win
where
their
we got
second
bullets
championship. Charles Barkley wanted to leave a bad 76ers team in 1992 and moved to
Man.
Phoenix,
I
which
thought
is
he'd be on the list.
hypocritical considering how often he criticizes players that want to get traded. In recent memory, we had Eric Bledsoe. who traded-
Eric,
I don't even
boy.
wanna be here,
Nah.
which earned him a
Nah. The chat, the title says superstars, bro. I can't, bro. Eric Bledsoe.
I do not like burning bridges. Shout out Eric Bledsoe. No shot. no shot. Were you a genuine superstar? You were a good player, great player, hell of a player. Your nickname was Mini Bron. Nah. I'm sorry. Nah.
After that, he hilariously backpedaled, saying he talked about his hair salon. He did get his wish and started getting haircuts in Milwaukee. Paul George demanded a trade from Indiana in 2017. And Jimmy
great.
Butler cursed his way out of Minnesota in 2019. Chris Paul. It took Chris Paul 3 seasons to become the best point guard in the NBA
Easy.
and be selected to the first All-NBA team. After he led the league in steals and assists, along with 21 efficient points. It took Chris Paul 6 years to realize that the team that drafted him, the New Orleans Hornets, as they were called then, weren't going to get any better. The Hornets only managed to win 1 playoff series.
I wish
during
one player
Paul's
realized
tenure.
that,
He
man.
then decided he needed a change of scenery, despite 3
God.
years remaining on his deal. He demanded a trade and got dealt to the
My
Lakers.
God,
And then the
bro.
NBA, led by the commissioner David Stern, famously vetoed that trade.
Now fuck this shit, bro. I'm gonna say it. Dame, stop playing, bro. Please. With that being said, shout out to Nonstop Sports for the video. It's a great video. I just want to stop it at the CP3 shit. Shout out to CP3. Golden State Warrior legend and things of that nature. We'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.
Dame time. Peace.